Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Manufactured by the Topps Gum Company, 1952 Topps Baseball is considered by many collectors and baseball historians to be the most important post-war baseball card set ever produced. The game-changing 1952 Topps series offers the iconic Mickey Mantle card and so much more. The vision of Cy Berger and designer Woody Gelman, 1952 Topps ultimately earned Berger the nickname the father of modern baseball cards. The 407 card set was the largest ever produced at the time of its release, representing a complete turnaround from the company's ill-conceived product and design concept the prior year. 1952 Topps laid the foundation for what would become the modern trading card. In addition to the larger checklist, the design of the cards themselves featured full team logos, colorized black and white photography, and most interestingly, a facsimile signature of the player taken directly from their player contract with Topps. In addition, card backs featured statistics and biographical information about the players, a component that would become very important in helping to connect the depicted players with their target market, children. Many collectors can attest to the fact that the backs of trading cards not only helped them learn about their favorite players, but also made rudimentary educational skills like reading and math a fun and tangible part of their collecting experience. As was common at the time, the 1952 Topps set was produced in 6 different series. Series 1 cards, numbers 1 through 80, were issued with black backs or red backs. Worried about costs, Topps would produce the later series cards in a much shorter quantity due to kids returning to school, baseball season ending, and sports fans' attention turning to football. To boost your sales, it was also customary to hold back the production of some popular players until a later series. As a result of this practice, the key card in the set, and by far the most valuable and recognizable, is the Mickey Mantle card, which appears as card number 311 on the checklist. Of course, the Mickey Mantle rookie card arrived in 1951 Bowman. No one but the Yankees scouting department could foresee just what a legendary figure the Mick would become, not even the set's architect, Cy Berger. It's been long said that Berger, stuck with several unsold pallets of high-numbered series cases, dumped the cards in the Hudson River with a forklift. This disturbing fact haunts collectors to this day, knowing that one of the most valuable baseball cards ever made likely has dozens of examples entombed in a watery grave. Distributed in packs of 5 cards for a nickel, it's amazing to think that at one time, these pieces of cardboard treasure cost just a penny per card. The simple nostalgia that is generated by this set of baseball cards stretches well beyond heavily invested veterans of the hobby. With its iconic design and deep checklist of some of the game's all-time greats, 1952 Topps cards have come to define not just an era of collecting, but a simpler time in American history. Transcending sports, many of the players depicted in the set became true icons of pop culture during the 1950s. In this video, I'm going to show the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1952 Topps set based on their PSA 5 values. Because of the different variations and errors found in the set, and the general premium for any high number series card, I'm going to focus mainly on cards of Hall of Famers. I'll also give the values of those cards in higher grades, as well as the population count of those grades. Now, before I get to the top 10, here are the cards that just missed the top 10. At number 15, the Phil Rizzuto card. At number 14, the Minnie Minoso rookie card. At number 13, the Billy Herman High Number Series card. At number 12, the Leo DeRocher High Number Series card. And at number 11, the Bill Dickey High Number Series card. Now, I'm sure we all know which card will rank number 1 in the top 10 list, but which cards will round out the top 10? Let's go find out. Coming in at number 10, we have the Yogi Berra card. In a PSA 5, there have been 295 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $808. There have been 177 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $1,362. There have been 83 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $3,240. There have been 27 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $13,462. There have only been 3 graded a PSA 9, and there have been no reported sales of any of those PSA 9s in VCP's database, so who knows what one of those PSA 9 graded copies would sell for today. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Yogi Berra card. At number 9, we have the Dick Williams, which is a high number series card. In a PSA 5, there have been only 82 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $830. There have been 80 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $1,528. There have been 71 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,715. There have been 34 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $4,920. There have only been 2 graded a PSA 9, and the only PSA 9 sale in VCP's database took place in February of 2022 through Memory Lane and sold for $104,843, placing the Dick Williams at the number 4 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Dick Williams card. At number 8, the Peewee Reese card, which is a high number series card. In a PSA 5, there have only been 91 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $2,084. There have been 78 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $2,219. There have been 76 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $5,280. There have been 37 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $10,186. There have only been 5 graded a PSA 9, and the last PSA 9 sale was in August of 2021 through Heritage and sold for $49,200. Now, there has been 1 graded a PSA 10, and the only PSA 10 sale in VCP's database took place all the way back in September of 2008 through Memory Lane and sold for $53,463. So who knows where that 1 PSA 10 Peewee Reese would fall on this top 10 list if that copy were to come up for sale today. At number 7, we have the Willhelm, which is a high number series and his rookie card. In a PSA 5, there have been 88 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $2,440. There have been 88 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $3,360. There have been 76 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $5,028. There have been 54 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $6,600. There have only been 7 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in June of 2022 through PWCC and sold for $54,000, placing the Willhelm rookie card at the number 5 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And there has been 1 graded a PSA 10. The only PSA 10 sale reported in VCP's database took place in May of 2012 through SCP auctions and sold for $23,351. At number 6, we have the Rory Campanella card, which is also a high number series card. In a PSA 5, there have been 128 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $3,000. There have been 72 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $4,457. There have been 74 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $4,773. There have been 44 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $8,700. There have only been 6 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale took place in July of 2018 through Heritage and sold for $22,800. Now, there have been 2 graded a PSA 10, although there have been no sales reported in VCP's database for either of those PSA 10s, so who knows what either of those would sell for if they would go up for sale today. At number 5, we have card number 1 in the set, Andy Pafco. While not a Hall of Famer, being the first card in the set is a key card in terms of condition. In a PSA 5, there have only been 73 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $3,240. There have only been 27 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $2,280. There have only been 8 graded at PSA 7. They sell for $24,258. There have only been 6 graded at PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale was in June of 2017 through Heritage Auction and sold for $57,600. There's not been a card graded a PSA 9. There has been 1 graded a PSA 10, but again, there have been no reported PSA 10 sales of that one Andy Pafco card, so who knows what that would go for today. At number 4, we have the Eddie Matthews rookie card, which is also in the high number series and the last card in the set. In a PSA 5, there have only been 100 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $10,751. There have been 74 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $9,577. There have been 29 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $36,000. There have been 14 graded at PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale was in February of 2022 through SCP Auctions and sold for $161,215. There have only been 2 graded a PSA 9, and there have been no reported PSA 9 sales in VCP's database, so who knows what one of those 2 PSA 9s would sell for, and there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Eddie Matthews rookie card. All right, on to the final 3. At number 3, we have the Willie Maze card. In a PSA 5, there have been 337 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $11,939. There have been 188 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $15,447. There have been 102 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $39,336. There have been 60 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $155,605. There have only been 9 graded at PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in April of 2017 through Golden Auction and sold for $245,000, placing the Willie Maze also at the number 3 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And there has been 1 graded a PSA 10, but there have been no reported sales of that PSA 10, so who knows what that one PSA 10 Willie Maze would sell for today. On to card number 2. We have the Jackie Robinson, which is also a high number series card, and the card right after the Mickey Mantle card. In a PSA 5, there have been 157 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $14,099. There have been 127 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $23,003. There have been 73 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $30,000. There have been 45 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $108,148. There have been 10 graded at PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in May of 2021 through Heritage and sold for $960,000, placing the Jackie Robinson also at the number 2 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list, and there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Jackie Robinson card. And of course, on to card number 1, the most valuable card in the 1952 set, the Mickey Mantle card, card number 311, which is the start of the high number series. In a PSA 5, there have been 178 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $143,181. There have been 123 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $169,406. There have been 77 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $324,000. There have been 35 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $1,071,600. And there have been 6 graded at PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in January of 2021 through a private sale for $5.2 million, which of course would make the the Mickey Mantle at the number 1 spot as well for PSA 9 graded copies on this list. Now, there have been 3 graded a PSA 10. There have been no reported sales of any of those PSA 10s, and thought is that if one of those PSA 10s were to go up for sale today, it would probably go for at least $20 million. Well, there you go, the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1952 top set. I'd love to know in the comments what you think about the 1952 top set in general and the cards that made the top 10 list. And if you've missed any of the videos in this series, here are 2 that you can check out. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.